Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in the United Kingdom, and today I'm showing you another one of the projects that I showcased in my One Stamp Set 4 Ways blog hop that I did with the Stamp Around UK crowd. And this one is one using the shaker domes to make a shaker card, and these are just... I don't normally do shaker cards, I don't think I've ever done one on video before, but they come in a pack of 10 little individual shaker domes in the shape of a jar, and I just thought they were really cute. And it gives me a chance. I will use up some of my sequins, but this time I'm actually showcasing another product. I'm using the confetti flowers border, look, to make little flower petals as the shaker. So that's what I've used for the inside. Obviously I've used the jar punch, which goes with the jar of flowers as a bundle, 10% off. With all bundles, first time they appear in the catalogue, 10% off. Once they come back, you don't get the money. So I've punched a few there. You can see teeny tiny little ones, and that punch does coordinate with the stamp set, which I actually didn't buy. I just fancied the flowers just for this, which is really indulgent, but hey, there we go. I'd earned some rewards, so it was a real treat. And then I've got the frosted and clear epoxy droplets, and I used the clear ones on that particular project. So I thought actually on this recreation I might use the frosted ones, which are lovely as well. In fact, I possibly even prefer the frosted ones. Anyway, that's what we're going to use. And I'll show you the things I've found to help line up the punch and make it work. So, first thing I'm actually going to do is punch a few more of these to show you. So this actually is a border punch. So it will punch a continuous border of flowers to make an edge on your cardstock. Or obviously, you can do what I'm about to do, which is basically just pop some cardstock in, and you can see I'm just using any old scraps. Pop them in. That probably isn't the best one to choose. Pop it in. A whole piece is probably a good idea. There we go. And all I've done is I've just popped that in and punched. Now if you wanted to make a continuous border, just to show you, all you would do is line up your punched shapes with the silver shapes on the outside edge here and punch again. Repeat. So again, move it along till the shapes line up, punch, and then you get a continuous little border of floral shapes. And now obviously I'm not doing that, I'm just creating some confetti, so all I'm doing is popping some card in and punching some more shapes out like so. You can just pop a little edge bit in, line it up, you know, a couple of 3 punches, any little scraps. There we go. Just do the same again. So a bit of and if you get any part ones, then you can either throw them away, pick them out, or just keep them there anyway. Which is what sort of the only ones I've done. I tended to throw the little half ones out if I spot them. But all in all, you soon very quickly create some really pretty sort of little confetti. Now I'm not suggesting that we go creating confetti for a wedding. You know, it might take a little bit of time, you might get a bit of repetitive strain, but you have got really pretty confetti there. So I'm just going to gather that up, pop it in a little plastic pocket here just for the moment while we're waiting. And now, as I say, you could use some sequins. Some of the metallic sequins are absolutely beautiful. The new ones are lovely. I just thought it was rather nice with the flowers to do that. So, to create the project, I thought we'd use some Seaside spray. So I've created a standard 10-fold card base, 10.5 by 29, scored at 14.5. A layer of Seaside spray. Excuse me. Which I've cut to 10 by 14. You could gut that centre section out if you wanted to. So what does that mean? Okay, this is a way of saving yourself some scraps, and that might be the ones you use for your confetti. So when you're putting a layer on the front, what I do is I line it up at 2 centimetres, and I cut from about 2 centimetres down to 2 centimetres up from the bottom. I'm not precise, you'll see here. I mean, I kind of eyeball it, but you basically just cut the middle out of your card like so. And if, as I've done there, not quite join them up, just pop your snips in. And you've got a nice layer that you could use for something else, or for a sentiment. And that just saves you a bit of card, saves a bit of weight as well, because basically once your layer is on the front there, it's not going to be visible. So my next layer is 9.5 by 13.5 centimetres. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my jar stamp, which I've got here, and I'm going to stamp it in some Memento black. You could use a dark sort of smoky slate or a basic grey if you wanted it to be not, you know, sort of a little bit more water-like, glass-like even. And I'm stamping fairly well down on the bottom of my card. And I'm just sort of centering that just by eye to create my layer. I'm then going to stamp my flowers again in Memento black, and with these I am going to use my stamping pierce mat underneath, because it's a relatively detailed stamp, and what we don't want to do, because we're not using our stamp apparatus, we don't want to lose those flowers. So again, just eyeball that. Let's give it a good press. And there we have a lovely image. Okay, I'm going to come in with the stems. Now for that you could use your, any colour you wanted. I'm sticking with the in colours. Now I haven't got the new in colours yet. I can see lots of projects are going to be recreated using the new ones. But these are the current in colours, which are with us for another year. So that's Pretty Peacock, which I've used for the stems. I'm then using the reverse of the half jar, because actually that just makes a solid with a bit of pool party ink. And there we have our water in our jar. And then all I'm going to do now is, I just realised I've stamped the wrong bit, because I'm actually going to punch that out. So I've coloured the wrong one. Okay, so what you want to do now, actually, is punch your jar out. But that will enable me to show you what you can do if, because what you want to do is actually do what I've just done on a scrap bit of Whisper White. Duh. But you can keep that jar for another occasion. So back in with the jar image, and we're just going to stamp that in there, and we're going to stamp our stems just at the top, and I'm going to stamp my pool party half jar. So if you stamp it on the front, you get the detailed image. Turn it over, use the reverse, and you can fill your jar with water. Okay. Right. Now, where were we? Okay. So, what we want to do next is to add our the way I did it anyway. Right, what I did was I took my sprinkles and I put them in the middle of my jar, because these little jar shakers are a really good shape and they fit really, really well. So I'm just going to pop quite a little pile in there. Keep them away from the edges. And I'm going to peel the reverse off this. Now, I did use my anti-static pad, but it left a bit of a deposit on it, so I've decided not to, because the flowers are actually quite a good shape and weight. So I'm just lining that up and popping that on the front there. That then enables me to come in, and I don't have to be too precise about it because nobody's going to see it, to just cut around that. And that's just for me to reduce the weight. You could leave it a you know, bigger than that if you wanted to. Okay, and that is then going to pop through and stick behind there. So before I do that, I'm actually going to do my colouring, because you don't want to stick it, then find it awkward to colour, and nor do you want to make a mistake with your colouring and find that you've wasted all of that. So again, I'm just using the same markers that you can see there, and just choose some colours. So I think we're going to go, I tended to choose the softer colours. With the leaves, I just with the stems, I just, because it's the sort of green I'd got in here, I just used the narrow end of Pretty Peacock to add some stems in and to colour those leaves. So this one almost, I think, is designed to be the winter one, because it's kind of got berries. So the Pretty Peacock actually works quite well almost as an evergreen sort of colour. Certainly a great colour to have. And with the new Just Jade, it really does look very pretty with that. So you can see I'm not doing much shading with this at all, because it's quite a sketchy effect anyway. And I'm just coming in and creating those berries, what I think of as berries. Somebody will tell me that I've got this completely wrong, of course, but it made sense to me at the time, and it made sense for the colours as well. Okay, I think that's probably it. I'm going to cut a bit more on the berries. I say, because it's not a very precise image, it's kind of a little bit sketchy, I think you can get away with it. I'm going to go subdue this larger flower as a kind of a, I don't know whether, as a sort of a kind of a winter flower of some sort. It actually, do you know what it almost looks like? It almost looks like one of those Australian flowers. There's a red one, I can't think what it's called now. It's really spiky, but anyway, it almost reminds me of one of those. But it's rather lovely. Now again, with the markers, once it's dry, you can come in and add a bit of shading by just going over those leaves. So, you know, don't think you can't shade with markers, and you've got to have stamping blends. Stamping blends are wonderful, but for little bits, you know, where you want to get an exact colour match, you know, the markers are fantastic. You know, you just get 10 of them, about £13, you know, and it means you've got all the colours in that particular colour family, which means that you can then do some colouring in of stamps or items like this and know that you've got that perfect match when you perhaps haven't got the blends quite built up in your stash yet. And for my customers, I've actually done them a nice blends chart as well, you know, a tick list, so we can tick those off. I think Purple Posy just for that last little flower. There we go. And obviously this is one way we have got Purple Posy ink as well at the moment. Okay, so once you've done that, it is as simple as finding your shaker, which I have here. And now you could obviously add things to the front here if you wanted. I'm just going to wait till I've got my shaker in there. And all I'm doing is popping that, and it's such an exact fit. Look at that. Perfect. And then all I'm going to do is use some wet glue. So I'm going to come in with my Tombow. Oh, it seems to be running out. Ooh. I'm also going to try and put some Tombow wherever else I can. You know, put it on a bit of your Stampin' Pierce mat, you know. Let's stick everything together. No, don't do that. It's not a good idea. Don't be clumsy. Grab your frame, which we made earlier, and then just pop that down. Like so. Now, if you can see I've got a little bit of a smidge of glue on the side there. Lift that off with a little bit of card. Then you can come in with your embellishments. So, if I find what I've done with them, because they're buried now underneath half a ton of all sorts of stuff, which I've just shoved to the side. Here we go. Take your pick tool, really useful for this. just for picking those, for dropping them off as well, picking them up, and I just thought these were great fun. I mean, these big ones are quite big, but you know, and I kind of thought three isn't quite enough, so I'm kind of popping another couple of droplets in there. There we go. Less is more, more is more. I'm gonna have to go odd numbers. I'm gonna have to do a big one down lower, another one up there, and a big one down lower. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, grab our card base. Make sure that's nice and adhered there. Again, wet glue on this one. But you can see, oh no, I'm not going to use wet glue at all. I'm going to use my dimensionals. Lift it up off the card a little bit, but I am going to pop a couple of dimensionals in the middle there to help with that. Support the frame. Get dimensionals everywhere. My usual, you know, one in each corner and one in the middle for smaller bits. For a card front, I probably go a little bit more. And these will just stop it sort of squashing. Now, obviously, because of the dimensionals and things, it's going to go into that larger letter size. So perfect for if you're going to give one. If you were going to send it, you might want to pop a box card anyway because of the shaker on the front. So I'm going to pop that on there like so. And then all I'm going to do now to finish it off, I'm just going to very quickly clean my stamp, she says, optimistically. Here we go. Pop it on your chamois. And then I'm going to grab my Seaside Spray ink and just do a little bit of decoration. And I'd repeat this on the envelope as well. Lovely pretty colour, and just pop it in the corner there. And that's why you use your Stampin' Pierce mat. Oh, okay. There we go. And I'll be adding sort of a layer to the inside as well. Okay, that's why you use your Stampin' Pierce mat, so you don't make a mess of it. But there you have a pretty shaker card with the confetti blossoms punch and the jar of flowers. Thank you for watching. Come back and see me again soon, and if you'd like to purchase any of the products you've seen, pop along to my blog at flutterbyheidi.co.uk and you'll find the links to all the products. Alternatively, heidismith.stampinup.net, and you will find everything in the shop button there. Bye for now.